Hey, do you want to watch The Notebook?
Sure, I love The Notebook.
I've never seen it.
Wow, have you seen any movies based on the novels of Nicholas Sparks?
Nope.
What if we watched all of them?
I'm willing to try anything.
Sparks, 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 sparks.
Notes. Hello, my name is Zach.
And I'm Whitney. This is Sparks Notes, a limited podcast series in which we will watch and discuss every film based on a novel by Nicholas Sparks.
This is episode 2, which means today we'll be discussing A Walk to Remember from 2002.
A Walk to Remember stars Mandy Moore and Shane West, and there's a couple other names in it, I guess.
Daryl Hannah.
Yes, Daryl Hannah plays Shane West's mom, and then what is his name? Peter Coyote.
Peter Coyote.
Yeah,
Mandy Moore's dad.
yeah. Last time we did the trailer. Should we do that again?
Oh, yeah, I have the trailer here. I think we should watch it just to refresh ourselves, even though we just watched this movie last night. So it is pretty fresh in our heads, but I do like watching the trailer.
1, 2, 3!
Landon Carter was heading nowhere fast.
What, are you gonna expel me?
It's time for you to start spending time with other kinds of people.
Don't blow it, Landon.
Jamie Sullivan
Wore that dress in the 4th grade. Nice sweater.
Thank you.
knew exactly who she was.
So what's your deal, huh? You don't care what people think about you?
No.
Now, two people who had nothing in common
I need help with my work.
Landon Carter's asking me for help.
Please.
Okay.
have everything to learn from each other.
Landon Carter's coming here.
Dad, I'm not a child.
Well, it's him I don't trust, not you.
It's like you don't even have time for your real friends anymore.
Hey, Carter. So I'll see you after school?
I'm in your dreams. Listen, Jamie, I was hoping we could...
We could be secret friends.
Exactly. It's like you're reading my mind.
Great. Maybe you could read mine.
Maybe you're just too scared that someone might actually want to be with you.
And why would that scare me?
Because you want to be with me, too.
You know, I was getting along with everything fine, and then you happened.
I'm not going anywhere. Please tell Jamie that. She makes me want to be different, better. I might kiss you.
I might be bad at it.
It's not possible.
Yeah, what were your expectations going into this movie?
I mean, I saw this for the first time when I was 13. So, and I've seen it several times. I think you could tell
Yeah.
that I had seen the movie several times. So, I mean, honestly, my expectation yesterday was to enjoy myself, and I did. I thought that there was going to be like nostalgic. Although I actually thought I might cry. I wasn't sure. I was like, I might cry, and I did not. But so it did meet my expectations mostly because I did have fun. Now, you didn't have a lot of knowledge about this movie, right? I know you had something spoiled for you, but otherwise, did you have much idea of what this was about?
Not much at all. Yeah, I've been talking to some of my coworkers about Nicholas Sparks movies and which ones they've seen, and all of them that have seen this one just told me that it was sad. And this is the very sad one. And then I think someone did say something about cancer at some point, so I was expecting there to be a cancer diagnosis.
Which is unfortunate that you knew.
But I didn't know it was leukemia, so that's a little wrinkle to it. I didn't know.
Oh, wow, big shock. I mean, this did come out 23 years ago, but I still think that it was disrespectful of your coworker to bring that up.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they thought that I already knew that. I don't know, but Because you referenced in our first episode that you had that spoiled for you as well, and
Right, which is kind of funny. Yeah, yeah, that was I said that my friend was reading the book in class and she dropped it and she yelled out, "She has cancer?"
and you said this was during a quiet test taking
It was
time.
it was completely like silent.
So what did the whole room react to that, or how was the reaction in the room
I
after that?
don't remember really. I'm sure everybody was kind of like, "What the heck?" Um,
What's the deal with this
but I was
girl?
just annoyed because I think I was reading it also, but she was just ahead of me because she read really fast. So then I had the book and the movie spoiled, at least that part. So, I mean, it's not like what the whole movie is, but it is a bit of a surprise. It's kind of a twist.
Yeah, she doesn't let on about it at all for most of the movie.
Right.
Like it takes like an hour before she says it, I think. So
Yeah.
there's like only 30 minutes after that or so.
There's, yeah, most of the movie is just like this romance between Mandy Moore's character, Jamie, and Shane West's character, Landon. He's like the bad boy and he messes up and has to do all this like community service, volunteering, tutoring, and all this extra stuff. And it just so happens that these are all the things that Mandy Moore's character, Jamie, also does.
So she does janitorial work, or
I don't think she was doing janitorial work in that scene. She was doing something else, but they were just like both in that room, right?
yeah, yeah, 'cause, yeah, they make him be a janitor and do a play
Yeah.
and do some other
Yeah.
thing.
So at first they're just kind of like thrown together and Landon is just over it. He doesn't care. And then they start chatting here and there and he asks her for help with his lines in the play. And then eventually they just like fall in love. But yeah, there are really like no indications the first hour of the movie that anything is going on. I mean, I think at the beginning maybe she looks a little bit like pale, but
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't wear any makeup or anything, and
yeah.
she only has one sweater, which she gets made fun of for.
And it's maybe like an hour in when there's one scene with her dad where he says like, don't let this go any further before things get worse or something like that. And that's like the first even hint.
Well, there's the hint of her saying, "Promise to not fall in love with me," which is that's kind of a hint.
At her having cancer?
Yeah, just like it's like this is gonna be a lot harder if you fall in love with me because
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
long for this world, as they say.
I mean, I think you could probably interpret that a lot of ways, but yes, I that could be a way of looking at it. And that's
Yeah,
probably is why she said that.
yeah,
It's just if you don't know anything, you wouldn't take that as like a clue.
yeah. You just think it's a quirky thing she says.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, we both had it spoiled that Mandy Moore has cancer in this movie.
Hmm.
Which is kind of sad for us, but
Yeah, it's sad for everyone involved, really. It's a sad
it
situation.
really was sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did some Wikipedia exploring, and I found out that Nicholas Sparks' sister had breast cancer, and she was the inspiration for writing this story.
Yeah, I saw that. She died, she was like 33 or something. She wasn't a teen, but she was quite young.
Yeah, and I guess there's some guy that she was dating that wanted to marry her or something despite her diagnosis, and maybe that inspired it.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, so it came from Sparks' own life experience. He didn't date someone like Mandy Moore, but it's dedication to his sister, which is sweet of Nicholas.
Yeah.
And I guess the book is set in the 1950s, which this movie is not. So that's another interesting change.
Yeah, I actually remembered that when we were reading through letterbox reviews because somebody made a comment like it seems like it was set in the 50s or something like that. And I was like, even though I read that book so long ago, and I did say in the last episode that I don't care about the books, we only care about the movies. I did
Yes.
remember, I was like, I think the book was set in the 50s. So they've changed it to maybe make it more modern and cool, I guess.
Yeah, because kids don't care about the 50s.
No, kids don't.
But yeah, it seems like this movie, a lot of people hold it in high regard and esteem, which you seem to be among those people. It's like this
I
is
am because of the fact that, the age that I saw it, I was impressionable. I was like, ripe to see this tragic love story and imagine like this hot guy falling in love with me. Like I don't know. I think that just, I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought, but I definitely saw it several times and like all my friends loved it. We were just like these little like tween girls and we were so into Shane West and Landon Carter was like my dream boy for probably like a year.
really you like the bad boy.
In this I did because he reforms, He
Yeah.
definitely does not stay bad boy the whole time. So yeah, for me it's like so much of it is just nostalgia
Hmm.
and loving this movie so much at that age, I think is part of the reason that I just still really like it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I definitely had no nostalgia going in.
you
And
had like
so
negative nostalgia.
yeah. So I definitely don't feel as highly about it as you do, but
I
it's
know, but tell me tell me what you liked about it. What were some of your favorite things or one favorite thing, whatever. If you don't have multiple, just tell me one.
I liked how it starts off with it's got a cool song by the Breeders, Cannonball, and I like that song. And then the first scene is like the rebellious teens kind of partying in the streets at night, and I felt like it was like kind of like one like extra long take, so I was like, this is kind of cool. It kind of got me interested, and it wasn't the type of energy I was expecting from a Nicholas Sparks. It did feel kind of edgy, which is what I was going for, and I was like, it's like okay, wasn't expecting this kind of character, so I wanted to know more about Landon. And then like that kid jumping into the weird quarry or whatever that was, and then coming up floating with a scratched up head. I was like, this is crazy.
Coming up floating with a scratch up.
Yeah, he's face down, floating up. It's like, oh boy, is he dead? It's like this is,
Yeah.
but he's not dead. It's just he's just kind of he's messed up.
Would you have jumped into that quarry water thing if you thought it would make you like popular in high school?
Well, I definitely had the peer pressure kind of thing, like when with my family going up north, that we have like there's like jumps or cliffs that you jump off into the water, and there's all my cousins and my brother and sister are jumping off, and I was very nervous about it. So I definitely had that experience of being scared to jump off of something into water.
Did you do
And
it?
yeah. But this situation was a lot more sketchy than that. Like it just looked very shallow and
Yeah,
it was at night.
for sure. They're definitely somewhere they weren't supposed to be. All of these teenagers were assholes and they're drinking and yeah, and
They're
it's
making
night.
out.
Yeah, all of that seemed bad. So yeah, this kid who came in is like the new kid and got dared to jump off that. Like, no, that was shady. I would not have done it. First of all, because I'm afraid of heights. So I would not have climbed up whatever that weird thing was that he
Yeah.
jumped off. And also like there would never have been a time when I thought I was going to become popular.
Yeah.
Like, so I wouldn't have even cared or tried.
Yeah. It was weird that Landon would he just like faked out that guy to jump in and he wouldn't jump in himself.
Yeah,
That was a little sketchy
it
on
was a
his part.
jerk move.
But he got punished for it, so I guess
Yeah.
it's all fine.
It does start out, yeah, it does start off kind of wild. And then there's like that very short car chase where,
Is he getting chased by the cops?
yeah, and he's listening to like, is it like a metal song or something?
Yeah, I think it's listening to a band called Fuel.
Oh,
Maybe. I think I like try to look up what that song was, but he's listening to some hard rock.
yeah, it's very intense. Okay, so you liked how it opened.
Yeah, I thought that was good. And also you said you didn't cry this time, and I also did not cry, but I would say the closest I got to crying was at the scene with the dad played by Peter Coyote and and Mandy Moore when their beds he's like at her bedside when she's like getting much sicker and just their exchange. And I don't know, just I was more emotionally affected at the idea of this dad losing his daughter than more than Landon losing his girlfriend of 2 months. Uh,
That's interesting.
yeah, I thought
That's interesting.
that made me more sad to think about it. And also, isn't the her mom dead too? Like,
I don't, did they even say? Like,
I
I
don't know.
feel like
There's
she
just no
must have
mom.
died because,
She's
yeah,
just
she's
not
not
in the movie.
there. And, but they refer to her, because she gives Landon that like book of quotes that was her mom's or something.
It's a little vague what happened there, but it just feels like he's like a single dad, and
Yeah.
it's just very sad to think about him losing his daughter to cancer at such a young age.
I think that that's a much more like adult perspective on this. Watching it as someone that probably has a better understanding of like how important your parents are in your life and what those
Hmm.
relationships are like. Whereas like seeing this as a young teen, I was just like, whatever, he's a cute boy. I want
Hmm.
a true love. So like that's what I cared about.
Yeah, and he's very loyal, uh, and they call him an angel and a miracle and all that because he sticks it out through thick and thin.
Are you talking about Landon?
Yeah, I'm talking about Landon.
Yeah. Yeah, they
So
did they did call him all that stuff.
he's an angel and a miracle
Yeah.
for sticking around
Yeah.
for Mandy.
Yeah, but no, I think that's an interesting way of thinking about it is, obviously they don't make the focus the dad, but yeah, he does lose his daughter when I think she's 18.
Yeah, didn't he say Mandy was like 17 when she filmed this or something? Like she's very young.
Yeah, I looked and it said so she would have been 17 when it was released. So who knows, depending on filming, part of it she might have been only 16, which is pretty crazy.
I did think she did a pretty good job of acting. This is I think it was maybe my first time ever seeing her act in something.
I thought it was kind of crazy because I feel like this time period was like the Mandy Moore heyday, but we are slightly different ages and we are
Yeah.
also probably have slightly different interests.
Yeah, I was less locked into the pop music scene at this time,
Yeah,
but she was a very popular singer, and you do get to hear many of her songs in this movie, which is a fun thing.
I do have to say that this movie has a banging soundtrack. Like,
Yeah.
you know how I was reacting. Pretty much every single song that came on, I was like, oh my God, yeah. And singing along. I could not stop myself.
Yeah, we get a lot of Switchfoot and New Radicals.
And obviously Mandy Moore. But it was like
Yes.
the three,
And I watched an interview with Shane West, and I guess he was in a punk band at the time, and I guess they got one of his songs in there too.
which
So
is kind of funny because At the end, I was like, this is Shane West singing, but I just said it as a joke. Like, I don't think he actually was during that one, but it's funny
Yeah.
that he did have a song in the movie, and I just was like trying to tease you.
Yeah. So they're both musicians in real life, so but on different genres, so that there's some kind of real life kind of connection they have there.
I must have had this soundtrack on CD back then in my little like CD flip case, or else I had it downloaded on LimeWire or something
Hmm.
because those songs are so deeply embedded in my brain. Like,
Yeah. What is the song that she sings during the play?
only hope.
Only Hope. You knew every note of that song. You're singing along to it.
I know.
And it was like pitch perfect.
I thought I was gonna not sing along. I was like, it's fine. I can just watch this and I'm gonna let Zach also enjoy it by not interrupting. But I could not stop myself when that second verse hit.
Yeah.
Whew.
I was impressed. You were right there with her. You knew every vocal inflection
She did. There's
and
like the tiniest little like thing she does with her voice. It's
it's
like
like you're
right there.
expecting it. Yeah.
I was listening to it in my car on my drive home from work today also. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a big climactic part of the movie. Uh
for sure. Yeah. He sings this song in the play, and then you can see like Shane West or Landon is so impressed and like awed. But she also looks really cute, and she has like her hair is all curly and pretty, and she's wearing this gorgeous gown, and like
yeah.
not a lot of makeup, but like her lip gloss is popping a little bit. So he's obviously like, dang girl. And then he leans over and kisses her after she finishes singing.
Probably not in the script or not
Yeah,
in the play script.
I don't think that was in the script. So
Yeah. I felt like he could have looked maybe more odd or into it. I felt like he looked a little bored at times during the song. He was like kind of like looking around and I don't
maybe
know.
he was just in shock.
I don't know. I feel like his acting wasn't great.
It's also is a long song to
Yeah.
include the entire performance.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna truncate it a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's like a full like 3 or 4 minute break
Yeah.
in the movie.
I think people had longer attention spans in 2002.
Yeah.
And also like the fact that Mandy Moore already had this music career, like you can assume that people seeing this movie would be into watching like a full song.
Hmm.
Um and like honestly, that is a good song. Also, you asked me if that song was written for the movie, and I said yes, but that's not true.
Oh.
It's a cover. It was originally Switchfoot.
Oh, Switchfoot wrote that song?
Yeah. So Switchfoot has a couple other songs in the movie. Um, but apparently they were the ones that originally released that. And then their version is also in one scene, but like Mandy Moore's version is the one that, got like kind of popular and famous.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he say Switchfoot's like a Christian band?
Yeah. When I was reading about that song, it definitely said they're a Christian band. But also like the lyrics are a little bit religious. Like not crazy religious, but a little bit.
Hmm.
Like, well, it does talk about praying a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at Switchfoot on Spotify and they're in a playlist called Christian Road Trip and Country by the Grace of God. So they got 2010 Christian gospel. So yeah, they're definitely Christian. And yeah, I'd say this is the most Christian-y feeling Sparks movies we've watched together so far.
Yeah, yeah, definitely because the fact that Jamie's dad is the Reverend, is it not
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So yeah, this movie definitely has more overt Christianity in it, but I didn't find it like too much. So, I mean, again, could just be the nostalgic love. I think my favorite thing in this movie is when they go on their like official first date. It's just so cute. They go out to like a fancy dinner and it's a little awkward and they like dance. um, to the song Dancing in the Moonlight. Dancing in the Moonlight, yeah.
I think so. Or
Yeah,
are they listening to that in the car? Or
maybe both.
maybe maybe it blends together.
But the big hit for me is when he takes her to the state line and she gets to be in two places at once.
Yeah.
Which is like she has this like list of stuff that she wants to do in her life. And one of the things on the list is be in two places at once. And literally you said right away, you're like, how do you do that? And in my head, I'm thinking, just you wait and see.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't spoil that.
I did not spoil a single thing in this movie.
That's true.
Um, so Landon drives her and she doesn't know where they're going, but he drives to like the state line and tells her, like, stand right here. So she has one foot in North Carolina and one foot in, I think, Virginia, maybe.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was so cute and like creative.
Yeah, it shows that he listens.
Yeah, it does. And then he got some like temporary tattoos because one of her other things was to get a tattoo. So she put this little butterfly tattoo on.
Hmm.
So that's probably my favorite part of this movie. And then, as I said, I love the soundtrack so much.
What do you think is the best song?
Oh my goodness.
Dare to Move?
I mean, honestly, like when it comes to this soundtrack, that is a good song. But I love New Radicals. So I think Mother We Just Can't Get Enough is incredible. I love that song.
Hmm.
That was like where they do the montage of like getting ready for the play and stuff.
Do you have any least favorite moments or aspects of this movie?
Um, I think I have one, and I don't know if you're gonna guess what I'm gonna say. But my least favorite thing about this movie is Daryl Hannah's haircut. It
Oh.
was so stressful to me.
Yeah, they actually had an entry about this on the Wikipedia article.
What?
Oh yeah, Daryl Hannah, who wore a brown wig as her character, had received a collagen injection in her lips, which went awry and caused noticeable swelling.
Okay, so that's what's going on. Odd. She really did. And so there was something going on with her lips, which I did not know about.
And the
And
wig was bad.
I guess it makes sense that she was wearing a wig because it was so stressful to me seeing that. It was like the worst color brown. Like there's nothing wrong with brown hair. You have a beautiful brown hair, Zach.
Thank
But this
you.
was not a good brown. And it had these terrible bangs. And I was just so sad about that hair.
Yeah, and I only know her from Kill Bill.
Looks obviously amazing in.
She's the woman with the eye patch in that movie,
Yeah.
and her blonde hair looks so good and how she should be. So she's just presented
Yeah,
very
she's
poorly.
meant to be blonde. They just were like, you need to be kind of like a frumpy housewife. Well, not a housewife, mom, I guess.
Yeah, they did her
So
dirty, maybe.
they did. Poor Daryl Hannah. This probably keeps her up at night.
This movie.
No, just that wig.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was probably my least favorite thing. What was your least favorite moment or part of this movie?
I was just very flummoxed about the whole like relationship with Shane West and his dad, or I just didn't really understand what was going on there.
Yeah, that was odd and it was not explored really.
Do you understand what their relationship is? It seems like they have some kind of a strange relationship or what happened there.
I assume the dad left because there's like this scene where Shane West shows up there in the middle of the night, and
Yeah,
he's like
that's like the first time you
standing.
see him, I think.
Well, they show him he comes to the play,
Oh.
but it's really quick. He's like, "Good job, son," and Landon's like, "What are you doing here?" That's it.
Yeah, they don't explain it at all.
Yeah, they really don't. And then he shows up at the dad's house in like the middle of the night, and he's like, "You have to fix my girlfriend."
She has
And you
cancer.
see, yeah, you see for just a second, like a woman kind of like appearing behind him. So like you at least know that there's like a woman in his life.
Yeah, maybe cheated on Daryl Hannah for that wig.
It's possible. It's possible she didn't deserve it, but the wig deserved it. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was odd, and they really did not explain it at all. That the dad showed up like two, three times, and he
Yeah,
yeah, it was odd.
yeah, that scene was very strange. He's just like, "You gotta fix my girlfriend. She has cancer." And he's like, "I'm a cardiologist." And he's like, "Fuck you." And he runs
I
away.
got so mad. It's
So,
like, dude, it's literally 2 a.m. He doesn't know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Give him a moment. And he
Yeah.
he was trying to be helpful, honestly. The dad was. He was like, I need to look at her case file and talk to her doctor. So like he was
Hmm.
at least like trying to figure it out.
And he ultimately does pay for her at home care, right? So he redeems himself, even though
Yeah.
he doesn't seem like he did anything wrong.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was
I
just
I
it was
just
just
get this.
poorly kind of conveyed to the audience. There's a lot of vague, weird
Yeah.
stuff that
I
doesn't
just
really
got the
hold
sense
up.
I got the sense that he had just maybe left, and that's why they have like this strained relationship.
I mean, I guess there is like something to like he's so desperate in this moment that he would do something like that, but it just felt weird more than anything else.
Would you say that it surprised you?
That part surprised me. Also, the two places at once scene did surprise me because I just thought that was a one-off line that she said, but they had
No.
a plan for it all along.
Yeah, that everything comes together in this movie. I'm pretty sure like every single thing that she mentioned from her list came true, or he like kind of helped make happen.
Yeah, I wonder what she was envisioning when she said wanting to be at two places at once. Was it? It probably wasn't that. That was like
No,
a creative workaround, but I don't
yeah,
know what
maybe it
she
was like
was
some
expecting.
scientific thing. Oh no, one thing on her list was she wanted to make a medical discovery. So she did not do that, I don't think, unless they just didn't show it. But yeah, maybe she wanted to like invent a machine that let you be in two places at once or something.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, another weird thing is the whole Landon's friends like photoshopping like
That's
her
what I was just
face.
thinking. Yeah. It's that whole group of friends is so odd. They're like obviously they're popular, but they're total jerks the whole time. His like one best friend, Eric, I think, is like sometimes cool and sometimes a jerk.
Hmm.
And then they're like mad that he is like hanging out with Jamie, so they decide to like bully her.
You feel like that's like a real high school experience of like that they would I guess I could see that maybe happening, I guess.
I think today's version would be someone like making a meme of you.
Yeah. Instead of just like printing out like a little Photoshop that they did in MS Paint or whatever.
Yeah. They just like cut out a picture of Jamie's face and put it on this like woman wearing a bikini or something.
Yeah, it says like hot bod on it or something. Or maybe someone
It
says
says
hot bod.
it says yeah, someone says it, but on the little flyer it says Virgin Mary question mark, which is just such an odd way of
Yeah.
bullying someone. Yeah.
And then it leads to him punching somebody.
Yeah, that was confusing.
They really disapproved of her and her one sweater she had.
Yeah, they were so mean that she wore the same cardigan all the time. You know, it's actually kind of funny. So obviously she gets teased for wearing the same cardigan, and then he buys her a new cardigan. It's like
Yeah.
that pink one. So today, several of my coworkers were all wearing pink, and two of them were wearing pink cardigans. And one of them kind of looked like that. And I told them, I was like,
The one
and
that he buys for her.
yeah, she gets a new cardigan. It kind of looks like that.
Yeah. It is maybe a little bit rude to like, yeah, I got you a new sweater because I know you only have one sweater. Like,
I know.
maybe
I
she
felt,
likes the fact that she only has
yeah,
one sweater.
yeah. I almost felt like that was a backhanded gift. Like,
Yeah, it seems like It's like passive aggressive
Yeah,
bullying
it's
a
like
little
buying
bit.
someone like deodorant or something.
Yeah, it's like I know you only got one shitty sweater, so have a new one.
I know you smell bad, so here's some deodorant. Also, I don't want to go in depth because I know I already have a lot to say, and you won't let this be a two-part episode. You've
Yeah,
already
we
beat
gotta yeah, we have to no two-parters. I'm putting my foot
so,
down.
but just really briefly in that scene when he's giving her the cardigan and he's wearing that t-shirt with that tiny Cuba flag. What? It's just like the smallest little flag right in the middle. And I looked it up and it's like the flag of Cuba. Like that was just so random.
Yeah, some interesting costuming choices in this movie for sure. Little Cuba
Yeah,
flag.
I don't know. That surprised me, I'll say. Because I don't think much surprised me considering I've seen this many times. But that little
Yeah.
Cuba flag, they had me scratching my head. Were you surprised that they got married?
I was a bit surprised. That hadn't been spoiled for me.
Yeah.
And that's you're saying that's the reference to the title. That was the walk to remember, her
Yep.
walking down the aisle.
Yes. The walk down the aisle. That is the walk to remember.
Beautiful.
I recall that. Yeah. It's just unusual to see a movie where teenagers get married, even under extreme circumstances. But
Do you think if you were in her situation, you would like to have a wedding?
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't care at that point. It would just be like, let's just enjoy what's left of my life. But it was like one of her dreams in life to get married in like that church where her mom grew up or whatever.
It was on her bucket list.
Yeah. For me, no, I probably would not.
Yeah,
Like, look, I have this hot boyfriend. We're in love and I'm dying, so I'm just gonna enjoy our time together.
they don't explore if they have sex or anything. They it just seems like they just have cute little kisses sometimes. Just
Yeah. I was assuming they did not because they don't show it. And also like
she's Christian.
she is she's very religious, she's very whatever Christian
She loves God and her
to
Bible.
God. And yeah. And also by the time they got like really together and close, she was getting sicker and sicker. So I feel like it maybe was not medically safe to have
Hmm.
sex. So
That's too bad.
that was just my guess. Yeah. I don't know. But we don't know. Maybe she died a virgin. Maybe she didn't.
Yeah. The movie definitely poses the question with like that little Photoshop, the
It's like,
Virgin Mary thing.
that's true. It's asking us. We have to decide.
Yeah, it's an open-ended question. What's next? We do our letterbox reviews.
Yeah. Did you have any reviews you liked of this movie?
Yeah, I had one, and it was reference to that scene of Landon going to his dad. Nothing like being mad at your dad because he's a cardiologist who can't cure your girlfriend's cancer. 2-star review.
I have two that I like that I saved. One of them, it's a 2-star review, and it says, I'm pretty sure every schoolgirl I grew up with saying this was their favorite movie is now married to a cop.
Very true.
Yes, that feels incredibly true. This is a 4-star review, and it says, my mom entered my room while I was sobbing uncontrollably because of these damn heteros. This is so humiliating.
So in the past, when you've watched this movie, have you remembered like at what points have made you cry or
I
like
feel like I must have just cried at like the end, like knowing that she's gonna die and that they're just trying to like enjoy this time together. And then, the very end when he comes back to visit, it's like 4 years later, and Landon comes back to visit Jamie's dad. And he's talking about, he's like, her love is like the wind.
hmm
You can feel it, but you can't
Yes.
see it or something. I know that shit got me. I know I was sobbing at that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I was such a little romantic, you know.
hmm
I just was like, I'm gonna fall in love, and I just wanted that. So I actually found a pretty cool fun fact about Nicholas Sparks today.
Sparks fact.
This is about an upcoming project that he's working on. It says in January 2025, so this is fresh, it was announced that Sparks had collaborated with M. Night Shyamalan on an original story they co-wrote, which is described as a supernatural romantic thriller.
Whoa.
So Sparks will author the upcoming novel, while Shyamalan will serve as screenwriter / director for a film adaptation.
Wait, so there's going to be a Shyamalan Sparks collab?
Yeah, which is I'm obsessed with.
Do you like M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes.
Did you see Trap?
Yeah.
I thought Trap was great.
Yeah.
Josh Hartnett killed it.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a goofy, fun movie. That's cool. I didn't know that.
I know. I did not know that at all. I was shocked.
Sparks fact. Did you hear that there's plans for another Walk to Remember? A Walk to Remember reboot in development.
Seriously?
They haven't announced the cast or the director yet, but they just said they're going to make another Walk to Remember. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't feel like it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, they already have this movie. Like, maybe they're gonna update it for modern times, and
Again.
somebody's gonna make a mean TikTok about her. But I guess Mandy Moore was asked about it, and she thought that Olivia Rodrigo would be the perfect person to cast in her role.
That's interesting. That is very interesting.
The other thing I found on the Wikipedia page is that I guess in the book it's kept vague if she dies or not. They don't really say that she passes away or not. It's a little bit more ambiguous in the book. So I
I
thought
think
that
it
was
makes
interesting.
sense. I think it makes sense the way they did it in the movie. So I do think Olivia Rodrigo would be an interesting choice.
I do like Olivia's music. I think
I do
she's
too.
she's got
She's
some great
definitely
albums.
she's edgier though, but maybe it would make the character edgier.
Yeah, maybe they reverse the roles where
Ooh. Wait a second. Gender bent, a walk to remember?
yeah, it's like a little goody two shoes Christian boy that pulls this punk girl.
Yeah, I love that actually. Let's start writing it. Okay, so where did you land on this movie overall?
Well, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, so a bit of a low rating.
I can't believe you rated it less than Message in a Bottle.
I don't know. For some reason I just like the vibes of Message in a Bottle more. Maybe because I don't know. I just like Kevin Costner and Robin Wright, but I don't know. I just couldn't get very invested in this, and this was just felt a little too cheesy for me,
Ugh,
and it was harder for me to get into it. I'm
wow.
sorry.
It's okay. I will try not to hold it against you. I gave it 4 stars. You could not pay me to rate it lower than that.
Yeah, I
So
do. I do feel that way about a lot of movies I have nostalgia for. It's like I can't objectively view them. Like
yeah,
it's just like this is 5 stars. This is something I watched all the time when I was growing up.
exactly.
So you can't see it objectively.
Yeah. Jamie has so many funny little like sassy moments in this. My favorite is when Landon says that he needs help with lines for the play, and she just looks at him and says, "I'll pray for you."
Yeah, that was good.
She was so good. And then one other that we both enjoyed was when he was like trying to convince her to go out with him or, be his friend or something. And she just like picked up her little juice box and it's like slurped
Yeah.
it for so long.
Yeah, they had like a really loud slurp or
Just did not respond to him. Okay.
yeah, yeah, I did like that stuff. Yeah. Maybe I
Okay.
should,
That's
maybe I should bump it up a half star just for the slurp.
juice box.
Two
Okay.
and a half stars.
Okay.
Or it's like in the trailer, but like, can you read my mind? And then she shuts the door on him or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, she had some good moments. I loved that. Okay, I swear that's it. That is all I will say. And next up we will be discussing The Notebook. So we're hitting like honestly some really good ones right out of the gate. So
Yeah, Notebook is going to be huge.
It is going to be huge. It's going to be a big hit.
That's the movie that started this whole thing off. So
exactly, as you heard in the introduction, this is it. So we will see you then. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.